At sa punto mong ito, lumako naman tayo sa tanggapan ng National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council kung saan pangungunahan mismo ni DILG Marojas ang press conference.
Northeast of Marine. Yung halos nagko-control ng kanyang movement sa ngayon, kaya during the past 24 hours, ito po ay nagkaroon ng quasi-stationary movement. But then, base dun sa latest na analysis ng Pag-asa, for today, the rains will continue, especially dito sa Metro Manila, as well as dito po sa western section ng Luzon. Then, at least for the whole day, and by tomorrow morning, we're expecting gradual improving weather na po dito sa Metro Manila. Then, yung affected areas naman po ay yung Central Luzon and the Ilocos province or Ilocos region ang maapektuhan bukas. Habang ang bagyong si Maring ay gagalaw na po ito towards northern part of Taiwan. So, if this will not happen, kasi ito po yung pinaka-scenario na natin, then by Thursday, ang maapektuhan na lamang po ng mga pag-ulan ay expected dito po sa Ilocos region. Then by Friday, improved weather na all throughout the country. Ayun po yung nakikita nating scenario.
I'd just like to highlight what Robert mentioned or stated. Number one is that we are still under the red advisory, rain advisory, yung Metro Manila. Meaning we would be expecting heavy to intense rainfall pa rin in Metro Manila. We are hopeful that weather will improve late this afternoon or early evening, especially for Metro Manila and surrounding areas. So ninipis na ang ulan mamayang starting this evening or early evening for Metro Manila and surrounding areas. Now we are looking here at ano ba, pataas, northward. Yung system will be moving upward. So ang maapektuhan na naman, magkakaroon na naman apekto ay yung Bataan, Zambales. So, since they have been affected even last night and even today, sila talaga ang the most affected by this system. And part of Central Luzon maapektuhan. While this system will move slowly upward, meaning papunta na tayo ng Pangasinan, La Union, up to Ilocos. Yung the timeline na binanggit kanina ni Robert is still applicable. Even this forecast was made 2 days ago. We were really expecting that itong Baring would be outside par by Wednesday or Friday morning. It's still applicable. It's ano pa rin, yun pa rin ang indication. Now, what to expect? We were also surprised on the rain intensity in areas. Meron kami dito tabulation and some areas have experienced record rainfall, especially Sangli, Cavite, comparable sa Manila, import area comparable with the record with Abagat. So itong mga rain intensity, we can expect to this affected area, the one we mentioned kanina, Bataan, Zambales, there will be areas dito that would, hindi tayo will not be surprised if they will experience ng ganito lakas na ulan. Pero hindi naman to widespread, pero there will be areas that will experience this amount of rainfall. So yun naman dapat asahan. We should not be surprised na mayroong tatama talaga rito. Now we would be closely monitoring and will be giving 3 hours and 6 hours update for the next what to expect for the next 3 hours and also for the next 6 hours. Itong system nito is quickly changing, nagbabago-bago to, no? I mean, the one that really affect the amount of rainfall ay nagbabago. So, kaya we are comfortable only in 3 hours yung aming forecast, especially regarding kung saan areas including the amount of rainfall to expect.
Thank you very much, Secretary Monteo.
Unless you want to add something.
I just want to add about our comparisons with records from our monitoring stations. We have a comparison from several stations that in August of 2012 and August during this time, the event during this time, that in Sangli, the highest recorded rainfall as of 2012 during the Habagat in 2012 was 354.2 nung August 7 po, 2012. At 19, kanina po itong from 8 o'clock kahapon hanggang 8 o'clock po kanina, nasurpass po yung record nung 2012 at ang recorded rainfall ng Sangli is 475.4. So, ang sabi ko nga po kanina, nung last year po is 354.2 during that event. Yun lang po yung Sangli ang mataas. Other stations like dito sa Metro Manila ay mas mababa ang rainfall na na-record compared with the last year event. Yun lang po yung ating nakuha po sa mga istasyon.
Question now, can we not, parang you seem to be able to predict on a periodic basis, let's say on every 3 hours, sabi nyo. So you're saying later this afternoon, medyo less rain, we will be getting less rain here in Manila. But then you're also saying that because it will also move northward, correct? So if it moves northward, can we not say ano yung specific provinces, anong probable timelines involved? Let's say when you say kanina, you said it will reach Bataan and Zambales, they will be hit. And probably you're saying also that it will be the same amount of rain that we are now experiencing in Metro Manila ba ang darating sa kanila at about what time? And then after that, where else pa sila papunta?
Okay, we can give a longer, let's say 6 hours forecast no, or even more. But kailangan namin ma-update yun on an hourly basis.
For purposes lang ng making sure na ready yung NDRRMC at ating mga constituents, yung mga usual na mga binabahan lugar sa mga lugar na to, at least makapaggayak sila ng tama. We can forewarn. At least there's nothing wrong naman to prepare ahead, way ahead of time. Better than nagmamadali tayo or naghahabol tayo.
Yes, we can do that, Mr. Chair. But as I mentioned kanina, we'll give an update every hour. We have a longer para forecast, but hourly updated. Even a longer forecast kasi pwede magbago. Kasi may kanina kinikwento ko na kay Secretary Dinky, even at 3 o'clock this morning, ang aming para nakikita namin forecast, it was yellow, orange, kanina 3 o'clock eh. Nag-intensify to orange. We were looking at banda 6 o'clock, yung orange sana magiging, at the maximum sana orange, ma-maintain, o kaya orange magiging yellow, pare-reduce. But ang pinaka-worst thing na happened ay yung orange naging red. So, I'm just mentioning that these are also possible that will happen. So, kaya gagawa na lang kami ng hourly update on the weather scenarios o weather outlook.
Thank you. Any questions on the Pag-asa? Mr. Chairman, dun lang sa Pag-asa kasi ayaw naman natin na mag-panic, no? Yung mga kababayan natin. Hindi natin na pinapawalang bahala ito, no? Pero yung nasabi ho ninyo na lumagpas ito sa habagat volume ng ulan, doon lang ito sa Sangli. Diba? Sa Kamaynilaan, not necessarily na lumagpas ito sa volume ng habagat. Linawin lang natin kasi baka hindi nagpe-pay attention or nakikinig masyado yung mga kababayan natin. na, ipakita lang natin na doon lang ito sa sensor sa Sanli, Cavite. Hindi ito sa kabuang NCR na nalagpasan na natin yung habagat.
Yes,
Sec Mario.
thank you. Actually, the widespread rainfall or areas which experience intense rain ay less ngayon than kahapon. Except that some areas talaga ay ito, na-focus doon talaga sa areas na yon. Pangalawa, yung ibang areas talaga wherein there was experience in nag-cause naman ng flooding. Yun naman ang nakaano doon. Pero yung widespread widespread areas that have experienced intense rain is less ngayon than yesterday. Except that some of the areas talaga nakakuha na yun na medyo record. Pero yun ang real, para bang yun ang nangyari.
Okay. Any more? We have also okay na, sir. Okay. There are no more questions. We will proceed to the next agenda. Effects of the southwest monsoon as enhanced by typhoon typhoon storm Maring by Yusek de Rosario.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Sir, at 9:30, the technical working group of the council had a meeting so that we can get also the update from Pag-asa and update us on the current relief operations and search and rescue operations being undertaken by the national responders. So with that said, I will just give and present a bird's eye view on the effects in a larger scale on the effects of the of this habagat. Okay, next. The situation overview regarding the weather was presented already by Pag-asa. Next. So this is the affected population by region, number of families, and individuals. We have a total of 125,024 affected families and 601,114 coming from the National Capital Region, the Cordillera Administrative Region, Regions 1, 3, 4A, and 4B. Okay, next. The recorded casualties as of 0900 this morning. We have 7, 1 from Bataan and 3 Pampanga were added to the previous 3 casualties yesterday. Injured remains the same and the missing remains at 4. On the status of lifelines, a total of 64 roads in regions 3, 4A, 4B, CAR, and NCR are still impassable to different types of vehicles due to floodings, and 1 bridge in Mountain Province is impassable. Next. On the status of dams, as shown, all the Binga and Ambuklao has an open gauge of 5.5 and 3 gates. The water coming from Binga and Ambuklao Dam is being diverted to Rocky Dam. On the actions taken by the government, suspension of classes in all levels and work in government offices were declared in Metro Manila, and the suspension of classes in all levels in the following provinces as shown. Sir, from this, the action taken on the relief operations will be presented by DSWD. So may I request the DSWD to present the services interventions
presented by the agency.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning. Magandang umaga po sa mga kasamahan sa kabinete at mga kasamang lingkod bayan. Tuloy-tuloy po ang pakikipag-ugnayan namin sa lokal na pamahalaan. Next. Makikita po natin, ito na po yung sinabi kanina ni Yusek Del Rosario. Tuloy po natin. Next. At ito po ang mga evacuation centers na nakatayo sa kasalukuyan. At sa ngayon ho, ang ating evacuation center sa lahat po ng affected areas are 199 at naglilingkod po sa 9,153 pamilya or 40,740 na mga katao. Yung iba po ay nasa mga kamag-anakan at nasa mga kaibigan. Mapapansin po natin na ang pinakamalaki na bilang ay nasa 4A. Yan po ay sa Cavite, Laguna, at sa Rizal. Pinakamarami po ang Cavite, 32 ang nakatayo pa sa ngayon, at yung naiiwan ang nasa Laguna at nasa Rizal. Pero batay na rin ho sa ulat ng Pag-asa, madadagdagan ho yung nasa Region 3. Doon ho dumalaki ang tubig. Inaasahan namin lalong-lalo na sa Bataan at Zambales na maapektuhan sila sapagkat yung Bataan at Zambales, nararamdaman pa ho natin yung sa Labuyo. Sa katunayan, sa Pampanga, meron na po tayong 14 na evacuation center, sa Tarlac 3, sa Bulacan 5, sa Zambales 5, at sa Bataan ay 20 or 20. Yan ho yung breakdown ng Region 3. Yung cost of assistance, ibig sabihin yung pong naibigay na nating tulong, next slide, ay umaabot na po sa 4.4 million at ang 1.7 galing sa pambansa, ang 2.7 galing po sa lokal na pamahalaan. Yung damaged houses natin ay hindi gaanong malaki. Sa 4A po tayo nakaranas ng marami. Totally damaged ay 17 and partially ay 15. Hindi po namin sinama dito, kaya 32 lahat, yung damaged house na mas malaki sa Kasiguran at saka sa Zambales. Next slide, ito po yung preposition resources. So 120 million pa po ang meron tayo. Kaya in relation to that po, sa kasalukuyan, next slide, tuloy-tuloy po ang kikipag-ugnayan namin sa lokal na pamahalaan, sa PDRRMC, at ang amin pong mga kasamahan ay ang operation center ho namin ngayon, dagdag dito sa NDRRMC na may tao ho kaming nakadetail, yung aming National Resource Operation Center sa Pasay. Kasi nandun po yung aming warehouse at nagre-repack ho kami ng 100,000 family food packs. Kanina, hindi po kami nagtawag kahapon at ngayon ng volunteers, pero dahil sa lawak at sa prediction po ng ating Pag-asa, nakikita ho namin na kinakailangan po nating dagdagan yung family food packs dahil nga ho hihingi ng tulong. Hindi po tayo nakukulangan ng support. Yung pagre-repack na lang po ang kakailanganin. So, sa kasalukuyan, nag-o-organize ho kami kasama ng military at ng private sector trucks to deliver 10,000 food packs sa Region 3. Meron din 5,000 sa 4A at 5,000 sa NCR. At meron po tayong ugnayan sa World Food Program na magdi-deliver ng energy biscuits sa lahat ho ng maaabot na evacuation center sa ngayon. Katulong po ang private sector trucks para sa mga bata at sa mga lolo't lola. Yung pong energy biscuits, pag nakain po nyo, lalakas ho yung katawan nyo at makakatawid. Dahil alam ho natin na mahirap magluto ngayon dahil basa pa. Kaya yung energy biscuits ho yung inuuna. Ito po yung sinasabi ko. Ang panawagan po namin na volunteers na pumunta po sa aming National Resource Center, mag-ingat lang ho muna kasi mataas pa yung mga tubig pa. yung roads kasi papuntang Naiya, sarado. Yun ho yung aming entry. Kaya kung pwedeng hintayin nating humupa and mag-tweet kami kung mababa na yung tubig. Kasi marami na hong nagtutweet sa amin na pupunta sila. Pero ang monitoring namin, mataas pa yung tubig papuntang Naiya. So hindi pa kami makapasok, hindi makapenetrate yung mga sasakyan. Ayaw naman nating malagay sa alanganin po yung mga magvo-volunteers. So 24 hours ho yung volunteers at may tao po dun sa aming warehouse. Yan po yung kabuuan ng report, Mr. Chair, ng aming tanggapan.
Salamat, Secretary Ding. Secretary Ona, you want to add anything?
Good morning. We just would like to give yung report with regards to deaths, mortality. As of last night kasi, ang confirmed, dahil DOH the one that confirms the death, although ang report dito natin ngayon is 7, ang confirmed death namin sa DOH is only 4, and yung injuries, next slide, is 31. And all of these deaths ay dahil sa drowning at saka sa trauma. Now with regards to yung leading, next slide, is the leading causes ng mga consultation na nakita natin sa ating mga evacuation centers. And these are the usual expected complaints na pag-expose sila sa rain and cold, at usually fever, headache, coughs, very ordinary diseases so far. And of course, ito ang ating ina-expect at this time of the year. And may mga request sila ng mga skin ointment, doxycycline, I'll explain that later, at saka yung anti-tetanus. With regards to yung damaged health facility, as of yesterday, isa lamang ang totally submerged na rural health unit natin sa Binyan, Laguna, and yung Perpetual Health Hospital sa Binyan, Laguna. But as of today, flooded na ho ang ating Tondo Medical Center sa Tondos, at saka even sa DOH sa San Lazaro Hospital at Jose Reyes. Kaya ho aming command center is nasa East Avenue Medical Center ngayon. And maybe I'd like to give you yung aming emergency telephone sa East Avenue Medical Center, which is, ang number is 921-6480. 921-6480. That's our command and emergency call center. Yes. So 24 hours yun. Yung medicines that we have distributed sa NCR at saka sa 4A are shown dito sa slide na ito. And we have, meron na kaming prepositioned medicines in NCR. Of course, narito ang ating main warehouse at saka sa 4A. So we have even as much as 10 million pesos that is already parang augmentation sa ating preposition medicine. Ang ating actions that we have taken since the past 2 days is yung meron tayong continuous rapid coordination with all regions from Region 1 up to here. And ang ating hospitals dito sa NCR is on Code White. Ibig sabihin ng Code White is all our emergency rooms are prepared with additional augmented supplies, and all the doctors there are on 24 hours, including yung mga consultants na pwede kaagad matawag nila in case there is a need for special care. At meron din kaming surveillance system with the LGUs, and this is being coordinated also with our evacuation centers. And continues yung ating public health advisory sa mga what we call flood-related diseases at saka outbreaks. Meron na kaming mga gamot na na-distribute, and I would like to particularly point out na lalo na sa ating mga volunteer workers, sa ating PNP, sa ating all AFP, as well as lahat na nagtumutulong sa ating mga evacuees na na-expose sila sa flood.
we are distributing already yung doxycycline. Kasi yun ang gamot na can be given as prophylaxis. 1 tablet, 3 times, for 3 days, once a day lamang yon. And we're distributing yon para lang ma-avoid natin yung leptospirosis, which is really the most common disease na galing sa rats yan, lalo na ngayong meron tayong flood. So we are, ang gusto kong ulitin yon na all of those voluntary workers natin, and of course, ang ating mga kababayan, pag na-expose sila sa long-term flood na ganito ngayon, magandang uminom sila ng doxycycline. 1 tablet lamang, 200 milligrams yun for 3 days. Meron na kaming position, but dadagdagan natin ngayon. And I would like to let you know na kung meron kayong kailangan, of course, meron tayong program of gamot nito na sinabi na nating mga LGU should prepare. However, kung kulang man, we have that number that you can call. As a matter, yes. Meron na. Yes, we'll do that. Kung nangangailangan nga kayo, just paalam mo ninyo, make sure na merong available sa inyong mga health centers, at kung wala man, to let us know about it.
Sek, may tanong lang ako. Meron ba tayong mga health officers sa mga evacuation centers?
Yung tuwing?
Evacuation centers.
Ang ating coordination natin is with the SWD at saka sa LGU. Kasi naglilipot lang kami, wala talaga kaming exact na tao. But meron tayong mga health workers coordinated with the LGU health worker, especially sa evacuation centers na.
Okay, we now have the NCR situation update by OCD NCR.
Mr. Chair, the Honorable Secretaries, Ma'ams and Sirs, magandang umaga po. Ito po ang situation sa Metro Manila na minomonitor po due to resurging habagat rains. Andito po si Chairman Tolentino. Sige sir. The scope of my presentation will cover 5 items. The background, since the Metro Manila Disaster Risk Reduction Management Operations Center on red alert mode the background, emerging conditions, hotspots, scenarios, challenges, and the actions taken. Next slide, please. So, as early as 2 a.m. in the morning, 2 in the morning of August 20, we are already on heightened alert because of the yellow warning of Pag-asa. And then at around 5 o'clock in the morning today, massive lightning and thunders emerges, followed by heavy rains which strikes Metro Manila. So the Pag-asa forecast is upgraded to orange warning. Today at around 7 o'clock, while passing through the EDSA, we have zero visibility because of the heavy downpour here in Metro Manila. There were suspension of classes by the LGUs already, and the government offices were declared to have no work due to the heavy rains today. In the morning, Pag-asa elevated again at around 8 o'clock the red warning due to the heavy rainfall. Next slide, please. In the morning also of 7:15, 8 gates were open at Manggahan Floodway as per MMDA information. The Pasay City is currently experiencing flooding in areas of Malibay and Maribacan with these barangays. Some of them have already 7 feet deep. Low tide in Navotas City, 39 pumping stations are functional. So far, there's no flooding in the area of Kamanaba as of this moment. But the La Mesa Dam is already near critical level, 79.74 millimeters. And today, based on the cameras in Metro Manila Development Authority Operations Center, the Araneta Quezon Avenue is already overflowing of floodwaters. Next slide, please. The information given by Director Emma Kiambao, 50 to 60% of Metro Manila is underwater. The deployment of rescue teams and vacuum trucks to critical areas, City Parañaque, City Las Piñas, Manila have commenced today. The status of the LRT stations are shown. They are flooded right now. Next slide, please. So the hotspots and scenarios as far as the Metro Manila condition is concerned, one is the monitoring of upper streams of Marikina River. The next bullet statement came from the Pasig DRRMO. They said that the 614 millimeter of rainfall for 3-day Habagat 2012 is close already, nearing the rainfall today, which they gathered 549 millimeters of rainfall, closest to the record of 614 millimeters of rainfall for 3-day Habagat 2012 last year, per data of the Pasig City. All gates of Napindan and Manggahan floodway are open. The convergence of floodwaters in low-lying areas are being monitored today. Next. So the challenges are the current traffic in major thoroughfares in Metro Manila due to floodings in tunnels, example, Magallanes Tunnel, P. Burgos, and SH Buendia. Another challenge is Pasig DRRMO have informed the MMDRRMC, the flood forecasting warning system in Pasig City, which is being overseen by Pag-asa, bogged down, which limits their data collection from rain gauges and affected monitoring of thunderstorms in Upper Marikina watershed. And then possible landslides in soft soil and sloping areas. Next slide, please. Actions taken, rapid needs assessment were conducted by DOH, NCR, and DSWD, NCR in evacuation centers of Marikina City, Pasig City, and Las Piñas, to include Parañaque yesterday. And then there is a team composed of local engineer, MMDA Engineering, and MGB for the landslide susceptibility assessment. Text by Dr. Bill David of MGB. There are landslide-prone areas in Quezon City that has to be monitored. 1, the Kaingin 1 and 2 of Barangay Pansol, Barangay Payatas area, Barangay Commonwealth Litex area. This is the old landslide site last year. And the Barangay Batasan Hills boundary with San Mateo, Marikina area. And then we have also continuous monitoring of flooding areas in Metro Manila. Combined LGU, MMDA, and Regional Line Agency rescue operations in flooded areas. Right now, we are on a reinforcement mode of teams and equipments from the Bureau of Fire Protection NCR, NCRPO, the Joint Task Force NCR, and MMDA Rescue Battalion in the critical areas of Metro Manila. The last but not the least, sir, is the Libreng Sakay project of MMDRRMC and JTF NCR. Next slide, please. This shows the organic units that are now had been deployed. The first half of the slide had been deployed by the MMDRRMC and JTF already for the Libreng Sakay, and there is a standby asset composed of the support units from the Philippine Air Force and GHQ HSC. Sir, if you may allow, the commander of the JTF is here, Colonel Gonzalez, which can elaborate more on the specifics of the assets being prepositioned for Metro Manila.
Good morning, sir. Sir, for the Joint Task Force NCR, as of this morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, we have deployed 11 military M35 trucks involved in Libreng Sakay and conduct of relief and rescue operation in Parañaque and Manila and Pasay City. As of this morning, 2 DRO were deployed in Taguig as requested by the Mayor of Taguig City under Colonel Biluan and Colonel Garcia of the AFRESCOM. And right now, the Philippine Navy component under Captain Polmano has deployed DRO units ongoing operation at the vicinity of Villamor Air Base and Bonifacio, sir. It's already flooded there, and they provided trucks and light amphibious trucks, sir. And that's all, sir.
CD, do you have an update on the status of the Marikina River?
Yes, sir. Actually, I don't have the details here. Tintin Rojas, the local DRRMO right now, is trying to give me information. I said I have to return back the call because we're right now on NDRRMC briefing.
Okay, thank you. I think Secretary Montero has the
Actually,
information.
we shared this with Secretary Mark Caleo. Anyway, based sa aming flood modeling, there was a rainfall, 113 rainfall in the past 3 hours in Marikina watershed. We are expecting the Santo Niño water level will rise to 18 meters mid-afternoon. Ngayon, kailangan namin i-monitor the additional rainfall that will be coming.
Critical level, inabot na natin. 18.
Yung first alert. First. Ito, ano na ito, evacuation. 80 meters is evacuation.
Mr. Chairman, we're just coordinating with Mayor Del. Nag-forced evacuation na sila, preemptive, 5,000 pamilya sa 3 barangay na katabi ng Marikina River. About 30 minutes or 1 hour ago sila nagsimula. PNP nagpadala ng 3 or 4 na mga truck doon para makatulong na mailikas yung mga nasa tabing ilog ng Marikina. Kasi lumagpas na sa 16 meters yung Marikina River, yan yung parang cut-off. Lagpas nun ay forced evac na eh. So wala tayong nakikita mga problema doon sa forced evacuation? Meron pa rin mga matitigas ang ulo, pero basta sinasama na lang natin sa forced evac. Ganun pa man ay yung paglilipatan nila or pagpupuntahan nila ay meron ng mga kawani ng Marikina City Government plus DSWD plus the local disaster risk reduction. May pagkain naman doon, may mga gamot, DOH na andun. So nililikas lang talaga natin, Mr. Chairman, yung nasa gilid ng Marikina River. Nasa lumagpas na ng 16.4 meters na yung taas. At yung sa forecast nga, no, dahil sa dami or sa lakas ng ulan ay tataas nito ng 18. So para lang sa mga kababayan natin sa Marikina na meron pang kuryente at nanonood, yung between 6 and 18 meters, yung 2 meters na yon is another 6 feet. Kaya lagpas ng basketballero yung 6 feet na yan. No? So talagang wag na tayo magmatigas ulo, lumikas na po tayo. Okay, marami pong salamat. Can we now hear the rescue operations of the uniformed services? AFP first.
Mr. Chair, ladies and gentlemen, yes sir.
NCR. Bahagi po ng dahilan, kaya may baha po tayo kanina sa Magallanes Interchange at sa Pasay Top, ay sa kadahilanan umapaw po yung hindi natin nakikita lagi na Parañaque River. Ang elevation na dapat po ng Parañaque River ay dapat 11.5. Ngayon po ang Parañaque River ay 14 meters na po. Nag-overtop na po yung Parañaque River. Ito po yung dahilan. Kaya po binuksan natin yung 3 floodgates sa Libertad Pumping Station. Yung sa Libertad Pumping Station po, hindi naman po kagad mailalabas yung tubig galing ng Maricaban na umapaw na rin. Kailangan po dumaan po ang bahagi sa Parañaque dahilan ng high tide pa po tayo ngayon hanggang alas 4. So ito po ang dahilan kaya may baha tayo sa top. Naglilibreng sakay po doon tayo ngayon kasama po ang AFP sa Magallanes. Ang atin po intervention doon, tinawag na po natin yung even yung water concessionaire may nilad para mag-dewater ng mga tubig po doon. Yun po yung dahilan, kaya hanggang ngayon sarado pa po yung SLEX, kakanan po ng C5. At doon naman po sa Espanya, mataas pa rin po yung tubig doon, naglilibre sakay po doon ng Manila Police ngayon, si General Ganibe. Yun po yung dahilan sa Parañaque River, kaya baha tayo sa Sukat, baha tayo sa Dongalo, baha po tayo sa yung mga gilid po ng Pascor Drive, doon papunta sa airport. Hanggat hindi pa ho nag-low tide mamaya, medyo hirap pa ho tayo kung tuloy-tuloy pa ho itong pagulan. At kagabi po, may dagdag ko yung MMDA Rescue na nag-operate po sa Rosario, Cavite at sa Imos, Cavite. Salamat po.
Dagdag ko lang doon sa ating mga kababayan sa Marikina, no? Bakit na tatas pa yung tubig from 16.4 to 18? Kasi po yung tubig po sa taas, sa Burgos, Montalban, sa taas po yun, nasa critical level. So mataas pa rin ang tubig sa taas. Kaya bababa po yung tubig na yun, kaya inaasahan po natin na tatas po to 18 by mid-afternoon.
Sige, AFP.
Good morning, sir. Sir, for the AFP, the Battle Staff Bravo was organized this morning to monitor HIDR activities in Northern Luzon, here at NCR at saka sa Southern Luzon. As mentioned a while ago, dito sa NCR, the JTF NCR under Kelo Gonzales is directly supporting MMDA, yung assets niya at mga personnel. Yung sa Northern Luzon naman, saka sa Southern Luzon, the local units there are directly coordinating with the local OCDs. Ngayon dito with regards to the air assets we have and the AFP, we have 2 helis in Northern Luzon, we have 3 here in Metro Manila, and 2 in Southern Luzon. I'd like to inform the OCD and the other agencies if you need to make use of these helicopters, if weather will permit, you just call on us and we'll provide the helicopters. General Lactau, the Chief of the Command Center, will give a short brief about our activities.
Thank you, sir. Sir, to everybody, good morning. Sir, for the situation, this was already briefed a while ago, as far as the Habagat and Tropical Storm Maring is concerned. Sir, these were the flooded areas reported by MMDA. Okay, next. Sir, some photos. Okay, next. Sir, these are the HADR equipment of the armed forces that we have prepositioned. For NOLCOM area, sir, we have about 59 M35 trucks. And for Southern Luzon, we have about 100 M35 trucks. Then we have the 2 helis and then some vessels. These were the HADR assets that were placed OPCON to JTF NCR and is now supporting MMDA and the local government units of Metro Manila. A total of about 46 officers and enlisted men and vehicles of 17 vehicles. And then for available air assets, we have about 8 air assets available if weather permits. So we committed a total of 17 land assets and 5 boats so far. And the areas were España, Laguna, Cavite, and Parañaque. For NCR, these were the persons that were assisted in coordination, of course, with the MMDA. Okay, next. Sir, that's all, sir. Units are on alert now and directly coordinating with the local counterpart of their DRMMC.
Okay, thank you very much. We will have to cut short the briefing because we have to go back to our own offices and do our homework. We now go to the guidance of the Executive Secretary. Mr. Chairman, gusto ko lang paratingin na ang Pangulo sinusubaybayan po niya ito, lahat ng mga reports. at nakafocus siya ngayon sa mobilizing ng resources kung kinakailangan yung mga resources sa iba't ibang mga rehiyon na kakailanganin dito ay kino-coordinate na po ng Pangulo. At para lang sa ating mga kababayan na namimiss siya dito sa ating mga briefings, sinusubaybayan po niya ito lahat at kate-text lang nga po at nagbigay ng mga utos na mariin dapat siguraduhin natin na buong puwersa ng pamahalaan ay maparating natin sa pagliligtas ng ating. Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Just want to add lang, no? Now that we know medyo pretty accurate reports naman yung mga situations natin, projections, anticipations, walang reason for any of the agencies in government na magkulang sa pagbibigay ng serbisyo, no? So just make sure that everybody who should be there is there at lahat ng dapat nagtatrabaho ay nagtatrabaho nga at relentlessly, no? Ngayon, on the other hand naman, nananawagan po ako sa lahat ng mga kababayan natin that while yung government po natin is all there, pati mga local government ay epektibo sana pong ginagawa nila yung kanilang dapat gawin, hindi po ito sapat kung hindi po magko-cooperate itong ating mga kababayan. So yung pong mga nasa mga delikadong lugar, sana naman, makinig po kayo dahil taon-taon na meron tayong mga ganitong pangyayari, lagi na lang kayong pinapaalalahanan. Sana po this time, kumonti na yung pinapaalalahanan natin o mawala na. Marami pong salamat.
Okay, if there are no more questions, the meeting is adjourned.